Back goal square. Breeze from right to left for Cameron Wright. No score on the board. We've had 7 minutes. The ground just holding.
Thank you.
Put off the boot. It'll go into the square. Big pack. Oh, and there's almost a mark. Whipped out. Noble a kick off the ground. Out of danger, still not out of play, or yes it is. Anthony Eames there. Well, if he is in the back pocket, he's covering a lot of territory.
I think he's on Dimatina in the middle.
Frank Lessaputty there and not playing in the middle of that group of people. Supporters, Martello. Great leap of he has.
Right, the boundary throw in on the outer side of the ground at the 50-metre line. In fact, where the practice wickets for cricket. It's going to be a heavy part of the ground. Martello on all day in front. Dimatina at the base of the pack. Knocks the ball out.
Had his leg, takes it out.
And a free kick to McMaster's been pulled out here by the umpire.
Stay out
He
the
was
side, Nick.
legged here. We see it on screen. Martello coming over the back.
No place on the far side. No, go with him. Take him out, Ramsey. No, it's all right.
Hi, Martello can jump in those ruck duels.
Yeah, got a wonderful leap. McMaster from 50 metres. Button the target. Alongside him is Langan. Noble out to Povey. Povey, quick hands. And Prahran relieved the pressure through the agency of Kylie. And the ball is forced out over the line on the outer side of the ground.
Phil, Werribee not used to playing on small grounds such as Toorak Park. They're used to lots of space.
Yes, they are, Ross, but, you know, there's a lot riding on the game and they'll realise that the pressure's going to be important and they're used to that. They had a big season last year against all comers.
Walsh marks in the pocket. Taylor leads. Now he goes back. Daryl Taylor. There's 2 Taylors at full forward. Walsh, shocking kick. It could get to Taylor yet, though. Sells it is. But, again, a wasted kick.
Both sides struggling up forward.
Where in their forward line, you're a backman. So you've got to watch out because a couple of them, and those 2 that you 2 guys are playing on, will do exactly that thing. Okay, watch our turnovers. Mickey Sinney and Scotty Lang have turned it over a couple of times. Basically, guys, the 2 or 3 goals that they've got have been from our mistakes. Because a couple of times, the first 2 goals, we brought it back into the centre corridor with a risky handball. Guys, Dave Noble was heading out of back line, had a chance to kick it, instead he handballed, fumbled, okay, it went out of bounds, didn't cost us. But if you're heading into open space and you have the ability to kick the ball and kick it long to position, then take that option. Don't go the other way. Don't look for the 3rd handball if you're trying to create something, guys. The other thing is, make sure that, you know, we don't, on the ball-ins, the throw-ins and the ball-ups, make sure that we don't all get attracted to where the ball's going to go, because what's happening is quite often, all day, or even our man Aaron, is getting a big thump clear of the pack, and because they don't all get attracted to the ball and spread out a bit, the ball's coming over the top and they're picking up the easy one. Okay, Dunlop's in trouble with his ribs. Eames hasn't played because of his ribs. Guys, these sort of guys, you've got to hit them and tackle them hard. The first 15 minutes of that quarter was sensational as far as that pressure. They wouldn't have expected that. It was great stuff. The last 15 minutes we dropped off a little bit, not in that area, but just in our skill area and our decision-making area. Okay, the first 15 minutes of that quarter was sensational. Tommy Kuipert knocked down and buggered up the ribs of the biggest bloke on the ground. Good stuff, Tommy. Going in hard. That's the example we need to set. You know, Nick Provert's doing a good job. Mickey's getting plenty of the ball over there. Just got to be careful what you do with it. Guys, I just feel that at the moment, we're not playing anywhere near as well as we can when we've got the ball. We're doing the things perhaps when we haven't got the ball, as far as the pressure and the tackles have been relentless, and the desire by the Richard Chappells and these sort of guys. But when we get hold of the ball.
Yes, well, Brian Taylor, I agree with him. I must say they don't look to be on top of their goals in.
Yes, and I think there have been some good matchups. Eames on Dimatina and Cameron Wright on Sheldon. Sheldon's a real dynamo on the wing, number 8 for Prahran, and Cameron Wright's been right in amongst it. And that was a silly 50 metres there by Rick Knight on Sinney, which resulted in the first goal. Came after 12 minutes in the first quarter. The game been very tight. Werribee then under a little bit of pressure, but able to get themselves back into the game. In fact, to take the lead at quarter time. It's Grant Povey. Been in a little bit. Sinney again, putting the ball out, and this is where the goal Button it was, who bounced through, and then off to Eames. It spilled out, and Eames on that trusty left foot snuck it through, and Taylor picked Dimatina up on that. But you know, Eames is a pretty lively sort of player. There's Sheldon, as he is kicking the ball long, and Tommy Kuipert really does ride the pack extremely well. Out to Sinny just able to get boot to ball, we saw there, and he kicked their second goal for the quarter from the goal square. But Werribee, not to be outdone, we're back into it. And again there, Lennox should have tackled there. Out to Button. Yeah, Button swung round, good kick, good goal.
To be fair, it was Lucas who did.
Yeah, Lucas. I thought I said Lucas before, but it certainly should have been a tackle. Then McMaster with the handball out, and Eames again. And there's Dimatina. His opponent not with him, and Eames again puts it through.
Deadly, isn't he, on that left foot?
He is deadly. Good pace when he's firing, and they haven't got these...
I think Alday and Martello have staged a wonderful big man duel.
Bit of an old-style Indian arm wrestle contest here,
well,
Sam, we might almost say.
Well, I'm sorry, Phil, you're the expert. I see Sam's a commentator today. I should have asked you.
Well, there's Grant Povey, spun out there off the boundary. He didn't kick it too well, but the ball fortunately went over to Taylor Fragano. Povey's had quite a number of possessions. I think he's had about 15 possessions in the first half. Yes, 15 and a half time. There's Tommy Kuipert. Tommy's pretty exciting sort of player. He got an ability to kick great goals, and that occasion gave it up for Trewella. One of Trewella's 2 goals in the second quarter.
Got the goals
Rayburn
easily.
came on,
yeah, they did. And
Nick Walsh,
yes,
long kick, and
they're struggling on the forward line, Werribee. Now, that was a free. I thought a little bit lucky to Button. It was
Scott Langan.
Only kick against Scott Langan. Button and Wright with a goal.
Fine goal, though, Phil.
It was into the breeze, but they just don't look as dangerous on their forward line, whereas Prahran win the ball out of Werribee's forward line and run it, and they seem to have Werribee in a lot of trouble then. There's O'Keefe, spun through the pack, onto the left foot to Wright, and it's a beautifully placed pass, and Wright did the right thing and kicked the goal, which would have made O'Keefe happy as well, and the side. But is it, as Sam said, it's a very tight contest. The ground's holding, so it's not a day for speedsters. There's Trewella again over to Kuipert, and Kuipert there all over the place. Now, how does he get out of this? Well, somehow he does, and the umpire hardly moves, straight over the top of his head. Kuipert there, and there was another one to come to Trewella, and you'll see...
Sinny's indiscriminate kick, fortuitous mark there by Dimatina, who's had his hands full with Eames.
Now, here's the one. Rayburn should have gotten the quarter, but that, I have to say, umpire, is a very bad 50-metre penalty. And they're the sort of penalties that can really unsettle a team. When you think that at half-time you're talking about 1 goal, 3 the difference, like a goal of that kind is enough to make you very unhappy.
The third quarter highlights.
Yes, well, Prahran started well. First goal of Tommy Kuipert, as I recall.
That's right.
Taylor takes the mark. Fitzpatrick looks away. Everyone goes to sleep. He's going to kick a goal, but he does not, and gives it to Tommy. Kuipert sinks it, which extended the lead. I think that'd be 9 points. Must have gone to 15 points at that stage. And then you wouldn't have believed it, but Werribee fought back. Well, not that you wouldn't expect them to fall back, but the style in which they did it. Fraser Murphy, one of those typical running goals.
It was a start of 5 in 12 minutes
yes,
to Werribee.
It was a bit stiff. There's the man, David Alder. He was doing a lot of that work, but he went off, we're told, an eyelash in the eye. Wilson, beautiful goal on the left foot. And that really stunned the crowd, I think, when they could just sense that maybe Werribee were on the march. And once Rayburn got in amongst it, set one up, and Eames kicked his third, then they were really alive. And you could tell there, they started to realise that they could get right in amongst the game. All day again, he was killing them in the ruck. Over to Wilson and Nick Walsh, beautiful lead. And Walsh kicks from about 48 metres here and sinks a very important goal there, 4th for the quarter. Bonded had to come on for all day. Ooh. Wilson again, what courage. Back in, and look at the chip kick to Knight. That was their 5th. And they were really on a roll. This stage, Alday went off, and Prahran got back into the game. Not that whether that was the sole reason, but this is stiff too. Look, a bad bounce. Fitzpatrick in front. Brian Taylor juggles it around a little bit, plays with the opposition, puts